You ever meet someone who looks expensive, talks expensive, lives expensive, and somehow still feels stressed all the time? Like every nice thing they show you comes with a quiet panic behind it. Here's the weird part. Real wealth usually sounds calm. Pretend wealth usually sounds loud. And it's not because people are bad. It's because modern life has turned looking rich into a monthly payment plan, a social habit, and sometimes a straight-up addiction to approval. Today, we're counting down 15 things that scream you're pretending to be rich. Not you're poor. Not you can't buy nice stuff. This is about the little choices that make someone look high status for 5 minutes and feel broke for 5 weeks. And it matters right now because the world is packed with easy credit, buy now, worry later buttons, and social media pressure that makes normal life look embarrassing. By the end, you'll be able to spot the traps fast, protect your money without feeling deprived, and still enjoy nice things without turning them into a fake identity. And to keep this grounded, we're sticking to everyday reality. How fees work, how financing is sold, how convenience pricing sneaks in, how returns and subscriptions mess with people, and why the rich look can be the most expensive costume you'll ever rent. Number 15 is the monthly payment lifestyle. When someone talks about the price of everything in monthly terms instead of total cost, that's a red flag. It's only this much a month is how expensive choices sneak past your brain. It feels small, so you say yes. But 5 small payments become a whole second rent. Here's the behind-the-scenes trick. Monthly framing hides the full commitment and makes you compare it to a coffee instead of comparing it to your savings. People also stack payments because each one feels manageable until they all hit at once. The fake rich version is when the lifestyle is held up by payments, not ownership. The car, the phone, the furniture, the watch, the gym, the subscriptions, the VIP access, everything has a due date. Real wealthy people can use financing too, sure, but they don't need a perfect month to survive their choices. If missing one paycheck would collapse the whole look, that look is rented. And rented looks come with stress tax, constant anxiety, constant juggling, constant pretending it's fine. Right here is where people get defensive, so let's say it plainly. Financing itself isn't evil. The problem is using financing to buy an image instead of buying usefulness. When the goal is people must think I'm doing amazing, monthly payments are the easiest way to borrow a reputation. It's also the easiest way to lock yourself into a job you hate because your lifestyle can't handle a quiet month. If you want a quick reality test, ask this. If nobody could see it, would you still pay for it? If the answer is no, you're not buying a thing. You're buying applause, and applause does not pay interest back. Number 14 is flexing receipts, deliveries, and little luxuries like they're achievements. You know the vibe. Someone posts every meal, every drink, every bag, every treat-yourself moment. Not because they love food, but because they love the proof. And the proof is the point. Here's what people miss. Expensive-looking habits often come from the cheapest emotional place, needing to be seen. The fake rich version is when spending becomes content. When the camera eats first, the money leaves first. Apps and social platforms quietly reward this because it keeps people scrolling. Your brain gets a hit from likes, and your wallet takes the hit from repeat purchases. And because these are small purchases, people don't feel guilty in the moment. It's just lunch, just a drink, just a little delivery fee, but the pattern matters more than the individual purchase. If someone's identity is, I'm always outside, but their bank account is always inside the red, that's pretend wealth behavior. There's also a sneaky social trick happening. Posting spending is a way to control how people rank you without ever saying, please respect me. It's like wearing a scoreboard. But the scoreboard can get you trapped because you can't suddenly post, I'm budgeting this month, without feeling like you're losing status. So you keep buying your way into the same image. If you want a smarter version, keep the joy, drop the proof, eat the good meal, wear the nice outfit. Then live your life without running a public audit of your spending. The calmest people aren't trying to convince you. Number 13 is always having something new, especially when the new is basically the same as the old. New phone, new watch band, new shoes in the same color, new sunglasses, new bag, new version of the same thing. This isn't about collecting. It's about chasing the feeling of upgrade. The pretend rich signal is when new is used to cover up unstable. Behind the scenes, the consumer world is built to push upgrades because upgrades are easier to sell than first-time purchases. If you already like something, they just have to make you feel slightly behind. The trick is subtle: a new color, a small feature, a limited edition, a pro version. Most people can't explain why they needed the new one, but they can describe how it made them feel for 2 days. Then it becomes normal, and the itch returns. The expensive part isn't the item. It's the loop. Here's the quiet math people avoid. When you constantly upgrade, you're paying for the least valuable part of the product, the early, shiny stage. The moment you open it, it starts becoming not new again. Pretend wealth buys the not new yet feeling over and over. Real wealth tends to buy durability, comfort, and time. If someone always has new stuff but never seems more relaxed, that's a clue. They're not building a life. They're building a display. Now, it's easy to judge this, but there's a human reason it happens. A lot of people use upgrades as emotional control. New things feel like progress when real progress feels slow. Paying down debt is boring. Building savings is invisible. Learning a skill is hard. But buying an upgrade is instant. The world claps for instant. Your future only claps for steady. If you want the rich feeling without the fake rich damage, make your upgrades rare and meaningful. Replace when it's worn out, not when it's slightly less exciting. And if you're keeping the old just in case, that's a hint you didn't need the new one in the first place. Number 12 is bragging about being busy while quietly living in financial chaos. Pretend rich people love to sound in demand, always running around, always on calls, always working on something big. But when you look closer, the busyness is often covering instability. The schedule is packed, but the bills are packed tighter. Being busy is a social status now. It signals importance. So people perform it. They'll complain about being tired like it's a trophy. But true stability usually creates breathing room. If someone is constantly hustling yet always stressed about money, something doesn't add up. This doesn't mean hard work is fake. It means using busyness as a costume is fake. Watch the tells. They talk about big moves but avoid details. They talk about future wins but dodge current numbers. They use motivational quotes instead of budgets. They keep moving so nobody can ask calm questions. And the biggest tell? They're allergic to simple financial habits because those habits don't look glamorous. Tracking spending, paying bills early, cooking at home sometimes, saying not this month. Those things don't get applause, so pretend rich people avoid them and lean into the performance. This is where controversy comes in, but it's true. A lot of the loud money culture is basically anxiety with a filter. The harder someone tries to look like they've arrived, the more likely they're scared they haven't. The fix isn't shame. The fix is honesty with yourself. A real rich habit is boring. Clear numbers, clear priorities, clear boundaries. A pretend rich habit is loud, vague plans, flashy spending, constant urgency. If you want to look wealthy without faking it, stop advertising your grind and start protecting your peace. Number 11 is treating everyday convenience like it's your identity. Delivery everything, rides everywhere, paying extra to avoid small effort. Again, convenience is not wrong. The pretend rich version is when convenience becomes a personality, even when the person can't afford it. The behind-the-scenes truth. Convenience is priced like a luxury because it sells time. But if your finances are tight, you don't have time money. You have cash money, and it's leaving. People miss this because convenience fees are spread out and disguised. It's not one giant purchase. It's 100 tiny, sure, why not moments. And those moments stack. DoorDash starts this problem for a lot of people because it makes "I'm tired" feel like a reason to pay extra without thinking. And notice what happens socially. People start using convenience as status. I don't grocery shop. I don't cook. I don't wait in lines. It sounds like you're above normal life. But if you're doing that while you're carrying credit card balances, you're paying luxury prices with struggle money. Also, convenience can make you feel richer than you are because it removes friction. Friction is what normally stops bad spending. If spending is always smooth, you spend smoother and more. A smarter way is to separate convenience for emergencies from convenience as default. Use it when it truly saves a meltdown day, but don't let it become your baseline. Real wealth can afford convenience without guilt because the foundation is solid. Pretend wealth uses convenience to hide disorganization and then calls it self-care. Self-care is great. But self-care that makes you anxious every month isn't care. It's avoidance with a receipt. Number 10 is chasing luxury labels while ignoring luxury basics. Here's the simplest way to say it. Pretending to be rich often means buying the logo and skipping the foundation. The foundation is stuff like emergency savings, decent insurance, a reliable car that's paid down, a clean credit history, a home that isn't chaotic, and money set aside for boring life surprises. Pretend rich people will buy the expensive-looking jacket but won't have a cushion for a flat tire. That's backwards. Many luxury brands don't even make most of their money from the super expensive items. They make a ton from entry-level items that let regular people buy into the status. That's not a conspiracy. It's business. And it works because humans love symbols. This is where the social trap bites. When you buy symbols, you start feeling like you have to keep buying symbols to stay in the same social rank. But symbols don't pay rent, and symbols don't lower stress. Foundation does. The real flex isn't the logo. It's the quiet stability, the ability to say no, the ability to handle a surprise bill without panic, the ability to take time off without your whole world shaking. If you want to enjoy luxury, go for it. But don't reverse the order. Build the base first, then buy the nice thing with money you can truly spare. And here's a simple mindset shift that helps. Stop asking, will this make me look rich? Start asking, will this make my life easier for a long time? That question is boring, and that's why it works. Let's talk about why this is so hard. People aren't dumb. They're tired. They're stressed. They're surrounded by curated lives. The world sells shortcuts. Look successful now. Feel upgraded now. Show them now. Meanwhile, real financial progress is slow, quiet, and honestly kind of lonely because you're saying no to things other people say yes to. That's why pretending is tempting. It gives you the social reward without the slow grind, but it also gives you the bill without the stability. And that is the trade nobody wants to admit. Number 9 is overdoing the VIP and premium add-ons. Priority boarding, premium seat selections, exclusive lounges, extra warranties you don't understand, protection plans, memberships for everything, and upgrades that make you feel elite for a moment. The pretend rich tell is not buying one upgrade, it's needing upgrades to feel okay. A lot of companies price the base option to feel slightly uncomfortable, so the upgrade feels like relief. They don't have to make the upgrade amazing. They just have to make the basic version feel like you're missing out. And when you're trying to look rich, you're extra sensitive to that feeling. You'll pay to avoid being seen as basic. The real issue is that premium add-ons often become autopilot. People stop asking if the upgrade changes the outcome. Does it actually improve your day in a way you'll remember? Or does it just reduce a tiny discomfort you would have forgotten in an hour? Pretend wealth pays for forgettable comfort while ignoring memorable security. And sometimes the VIP cost is not even the money. It's the habit of always needing more to feel satisfied. A practical move is to pick one area where upgrades genuinely matter to you and cut them elsewhere. Maybe you care about legroom because your knees hate you. Fine. But then don't also pay extra for every little exclusive thing just because the word premium is on it. Real wealth is selective. Pretend wealth is reactive. It buys the upsell because it feels like status. But status fades fast. The charge stays. Number 8 is constantly networking in expensive places while avoiding real relationships. This one sounds harsh, but it's real. Pretend rich people often confuse looking connected with being supported. They'll go to the fancy spot, buy the overpriced drink, shake hands, take photos, and call it building. But behind the scenes, it's often a social flex. Look where I am. Real networking is slow. It's helping people. It's being consistent. It's following up. It's being useful without expecting instant payoff. And it usually doesn't require a costly setting. If someone's networking always costs money and rarely produces real work or real friendships, it's more like paying admission to feel important. Humans are wired to copy the environment. Put yourself in an expensive room and you'll start spending like the room. That's why high-end settings are dangerous for people trying to prove something. You start matching energy you can't afford, and you'll justify it by calling it investment. But investments have expected returns. A random expensive night out with vague connections is not a guaranteed return. It's a vibe purchase. If you want to build real status, build real ties. Be the person who shows up, follows through, and makes life easier for the people around you. The richest people in a community are often not the flashiest. They're the most trusted. Trust is a better currency than pretending, and it doesn't charge interest. Now, a quick reality check. A lot of pretending isn't even intentional. People slide into it because of the way spending is packaged now. Everything is one click. Everything is split into payments. Everything is limited. Everything is just this once. And every platform shows you someone living like money is infinite. So your brain starts believing normal life is failure. That's why we're doing this countdown. Not to shame, to wake up. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. And once you can see it, you can choose. Number 7 is living in a new car smell mindset, even if it's wrecking your budget. A lot of people use cars as their main status symbol because it's visible and easy to compare. Pretend rich behavior shows up when someone stretches way too far for the payment just to be seen in a certain model or year. And they'll rationalize it as, I deserve it, or it's reliable. Reliability matters, but the status upgrade is usually the hidden driver. Behind-the-scenes insight, car deals are often designed to focus you on the monthly payment, not the total cost. That makes it easier to upsell you, and long terms can make almost any car affordable on paper. But affordable on paper can still drain your real life. The real giveaway is when the car is nice but everything else is fragile. No emergency fund, no savings, late fees, stress, or when someone is scared of a scratch like it's the end of the world because the car isn't just transportation. It's their identity. A wealthy mindset treats a car like a tool. A pretend wealth mindset treats it like a stage. If you love cars, that's fine. Just don't let the love turn into financial self-sabotage. Buy what you can handle comfortably. Leave space in your budget for maintenance, insurance, and the boring stuff. And remember, the goal is freedom, not applause at a red light. Nobody's paying your bill because they liked your rims. Number 6 is acting allergic to discounts, deals, and ordinary stores. This is one of the loudest pretend-rich signals because it's social. People will literally refuse to save money because they think saving money looks broke. They'll say things like, I don't do coupons, or I only shop at certain places, like spending extra is a personality trait. Many wealthy people love a good deal. Not because they're cheap, but because they understand value. They didn't get stable by lighting money on fire just to feel superior. Pretend rich people do that because they confuse price with worth. The behind-the-scenes reason this happens is ego protection. If someone is insecure, paying full price feels like proof they're doing well. It's like telling themselves, I'm not struggling. But you can pay full price and still be struggling. You can pay full price and still be broke. The register doesn't ask for your bank balance. It just takes your money. A healthier approach is to treat savings like strategy, not embarrassment. Buy quality when it matters. Hunt for deals when it doesn't. And stop caring what people think about your shopping choices. The quiet truth is that most people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. They're thinking about their own stuff. Don't spend extra just to win a competition nobody announced. Number 5 is constantly talking about the grind while showing signs of lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is when every time you earn a little more, you spend a little more, until you're right back where you started, stressed. Pretend rich people often level up their spending before they level up their stability. They'll upgrade the apartment, the wardrobe, the weekend plans, the subscriptions, the whole vibe, but their savings stays tiny. Lifestyle inflation is powerful because it doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like reward. You worked hard, so you deserve better. And you do deserve a better life. But if better life means higher fixed costs, you just bought yourself a tighter cage. The tell is when someone can't handle a small financial surprise without panic, even though they make good money. That's not a money problem. That's a spending structure problem. Real wealth is not just what you make, it's what you keep and how much breathing room you have. Pretend wealth puts all the extra money into visible upgrades, then wonders why they still feel broke. A simple fix is to raise your savings before you raise your lifestyle. When your income goes up, increase your automatic savings first, then upgrade something meaningful. Not everything. Real wealth grows quietly because it's protected. Pretend wealth grows loudly because it's displayed. And what gets displayed tends to get spent. Let's pause for a second because this is where people get stuck emotionally. A lot of pretending comes from fear of falling behind. You see friends traveling, buying, upgrading, celebrating. You don't see their debt. You don't see their family help. You don't see their stress fights at home. You see the highlight reel. So you compete with an illusion. And when you compete with an illusion, you lose real money for fake peace. The fix isn't to stop enjoying life. The fix is to stop using spending as proof that you matter. You matter even when you're budgeting. You matter even when you repeat an outfit. You matter even when you say no. And if the people around you make you feel small for being responsible, that's not a flex circle. That's a trap circle. Number 4 is turning every hangout into a flex event. The pretend rich vibe is when nothing can be simple. Every meetup has to be pricey. Every birthday needs a big show. Every weekend needs a plan that costs. Because simple feels low status. And if someone is pretending, they can't risk looking low. Here's behind-the-scenes insight. Expensive social habits are the fastest way to drain money because they multiply. One pricey dinner is one thing, but being the person who always says, "Let's do the expensive option," becomes a recurring bill. And you can't easily back out without feeling like you're downgrading your identity. You'll spend more in groups than alone because we mirror the group. If everyone is ordering the add-ons, you order the add-ons. If everyone is acting like money is nothing, you act like money is nothing. Pretend rich people often pick environments that pressure spending because it helps them perform, but it also forces them into repeat spending to keep the performance going. The real wealth move is being able to enjoy both. Sometimes you do the nice place, sometimes you do the simple thing. And you don't feel embarrassed either way. If your friends only respect you when you're spending, those aren't friends. That's an audience. And audiences are expensive. Number 3 is using buy now, pay later like it's extra income. This is a big one because it feels harmless at first. It's not debt, people tell themselves, it's just split payments. But split payments are still payments. And they stack. The pretend rich version is when someone uses payment splitting to make a lifestyle look bigger than their actual cash flow. These plans can make returns messy, refunds slower, and budgeting harder because the charges can land in different ways. Even when everything is technically fine, it can create a fog where you don't know what you owe until your account gets hit. Afterpay is a common example because it turns "I can't afford it" into "I can afford the first part," and that mental shift is powerful. Here's the quiet danger. Payment splitting makes you feel like you have room because the pain is delayed. But delayed pain is still pain. And when you stack multiple delayed pains, you get a month where everything comes due at once. That's when people panic, shuffle money, miss payments, and feel ashamed. And shame makes people hide the problem, which makes the problem grow. The smarter move is to use these tools only when you already have the money set aside and you're using the split for convenience, not for permission. If you need the split to make it possible, it's not possible right now. Real wealth is patient. Pretend wealth is urgent. Number 2 is being obsessed with looking expensive, but ignoring being secure. This is the heart of the whole video. The pretend rich person will spend on what strangers can see and skip what protects them in private. They'll have the flashy accessories but no savings, the fancy nights but no plan, the big talk but no cushion. And they often react badly to any suggestion of budgeting because budgeting feels like admitting reality. Your brain wants consistency between your self-image and your actions. So if your self-image is "I'm doing great," you'll avoid actions that make you feel like you're not doing great, even if those actions would actually make you great. That's why pretending can feel easier than building. You can spot this when someone makes money choices to impress people they don't even like, or when they're constantly stressed but still spending to keep up, or when they treat saving like punishment instead of protection. Real security is quiet. It doesn't photograph well. Nobody claps for an emergency fund. Nobody likes your retirement contribution post. But those things are the difference between a hard month and a disaster month. If you want to feel rich in real life, aim for unbothered. Unbothered comes from having options. Options come from keeping money, not just spending it. The richest looking person in the room might be performing. the most stable person in the room might be wearing plain shoes and sleeping great. Number 1 is the biggest scream of all. Getting defensive when money comes up. Pretend rich behavior hates questions. It hates clarity. It hates calm conversations about numbers. If someone jokes about being broke but keeps spending, if they snap when someone suggests a cheaper option, if they act offended by budgeting, if they constantly say, "You only live once," whenever they're challenged, that's not confidence. That's protection. Because deep down, they know the image is fragile. Real wealth can talk about money without turning it into a fight. It can say, "That's not a priority," without feeling judged. It can choose value without feeling small. It can skip things without needing an excuse. Here's the behind-the-scenes truth people miss. The strongest financial flex is emotional control. Being able to hear, "That's expensive," and not take it as a personal attack. Being able to say, "Not right now," and still feel like yourself. Being able to enjoy what you have without needing to prove anything. Pretend wealth is a costume that needs constant defending. Real wealth is a foundation that doesn't care who approves. So here's the recap you should keep in your head. If your lifestyle is held up by monthly payments, constant upgrades, premium add-ons, and convenience as default, you're paying extra for an image. If you're flexing purchases, avoiding discounts out of ego, and turning every hangout into a spending event, you're feeding a performance. If you're using split payments like income, chasing logos before basics, and getting defensive when money gets real, that's the loudest sign you're pretending. The goal isn't to look poor. The goal is to stop buying stress and start buying stability. Because stability is what people think rich feels like. If you made it this far, like the video. And comment this. Which one do you see the most in real life? Monthly payment lifestyle, constant upgrades, or convenience spending? Share this with a friend who needs it but won't admit it.